Okay, day 21. Let's get this done fast because I'm tired, as always, and also I have to wake up extra early tomorrow because I am going to see the Star Wars movie at an 8 a.m. Showing. And 8 a.m. is super early, which means I have to wake up super early, which means that I need to go to bed. So I'm going to try and solve this really, really fast, but also correctly, uh, unlike some of the other times. So let's hope that it goes well for me. Um, and yeah, let's hope that it goes well for me. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Comes from Pluto's flying edition. Stand up from the tractor. We actually pull an asteroid in your ship. It deals significant damage to your hull. How your ship doing? Tumbling violently. You can send a droid out to investigate, but tumbling is causing enough artificial gravity. One step could send the droid through a hole and fly out in space. The clear choice for this mission is a droid that can jump over the holes. The whole springboard. You can use an int code program, puzzle input, running an ASCII-capable computer to program the springboard. However, spring droids don't run int code. Instead, they run a simplified something that's called spring script. While a spring droid is not capable of navigating the guiding holes, is one don't remember most 15 spring script instructions. Spring script will move forward automatically, constantly thinking about whether to jump. Spring script program defines the logic for this decision. Spring script programs only use Boolean values, not numbers or strings. Two registers are able to use the temporary value register, J the jump register. If the jump register is true at the end of the program, the spring droid will try to jump. If the register has the value false. String droids have a sensor that can detect whether there's ground at various distances. Facing these values are provided in read-only registers. Spring droid can detect ground at 4 distances: 1 tile away, 2 tiles away, and 4 tiles away. If there's ground at the given distance, the register will be true. If there's a hole, be false. There are only 3 instructions available: shift and X, Y sets Y to true, both X and Y are true, otherwise sets Y to false, or X, Y sets both. Not X, Y sets that. In all 3 instructions, the second argument seems to be a writable register, either T or J. The first argument can be any register, including A, B, C, or D. For example, the one instruction program, not AJ, means if the tile is immediately in front of me is not ground, jump. Or here's a program that jumps if a 3 tile wide hole with ground the height of the soul is detected. So not A, J, not B. Temporary. And temporary J, not C, temporary, and temporary J, and DJ. The encode program expects ASCII inputs and outputs will begin by displaying a prompt, then input the desired instructions 1 per line, end each line with a new line. ASCII code 10, when you finish entering your program, provide the command walk, followed by new instructions to the total transfer and CS. The last one, so I produce these as springboard found as a whole does empty space. Springboard for life is not DJ walk. This one says J to true if and only there's no ground child far away. In other words, it attempts to jump into any hole it finds. So it's J to true if and only there is no ground 4 tiles away. However, if the spring droid successfully makes it across, it will use an output instruction to indicate an amount of damage to the hole, a single giant integer outside the normal ASCII range. Program the spring droid with logic allows to survey the hole without falling in space. What amount of hull damage does it report? Okay, so I didn't particularly follow that at all. So that doesn't bode well for me, but program equals this. And now the int code I saw there linking to day 17. So let's just copy the encode computer from day 17 and see how that goes for us. I don't think I made any changes since then, did I? I don't think I did. Okay, so I have a program and I have my encode computer, and now let's say, just for now, let's say get input equals lambda 0 and computer equals int, int code computer program get input, and we'll get input. Let's just see what happens if I do computer.go. computer.go 73 110 112 112s. Let me run this again, and let me do a chr of computer.go input space in instructions colon new line invalid operation. Okay, so that's confusing, but so let's say for blank in range 10, for I in range, let's say 20, print I computer.go, and let's just run this, and character of computer.go, input instructions, and let me just change it to 25 and just see. So I think 20 is when I want to give it something. Okay. So now let's go back and look at this again. And pull an asteroid in your ship. You send droid. Tell me something. They're one target droid that can jump over the holes in the spring droid. You can use spring droid. It has 15 instructions. We'll move forward automatically. Constantly think about whether to jump. Switch programs use only Boolean values. Okay, so I don't really understand what the jump does. So let me look at this. At the end of the spring script program, spring droid tried to jump. Spring droids have a sensor that can detect whether it's ground at various distances, regionally registers, and XY. Spring that jumps if a 3-tile wide hole is detected. In your program, provide the command walk, followed by a new line to instruct the spring droid to administering the hole. The spring droid falls into space, and asking or negative the last ones I've reproduced. In these, alpha is the spring droid, that is hole, dot is empty space. So, for example, like this, it's not DJ, it attempts to jump in any hole it finds. So there, up, up, down, down, program the spring droid with logic that allows it to survey the hull without falling into space. Okay, so so this gives me not HA. So let's try this, and let's just say program equals not AJ. Get def and let's say ASCII equals word C for C and program. It equals iter ASCII and def get input return next it. And let's try this and see what happens. Name get input is not defined. Still don't really understand what's going on here, but that's fine. Or expected string of length 1, but int found. Okay, so that's what's this thing called? Spring script. So instead of program, I'm going to call this SS for Spring Script. SS input instructions. Stop iteration. Okay, so I'm going to run into a problem because once again, I don't understand how I don't understand how the encode computer works, so that's going to cause a lot of problems. Saying input instructions and next it because I need to tell it walk at the end of the program. I think that's what they said. So let me try that. And let's do an enter and try that. What's the biggest ASCII number? Is it 255? Yeah. Okay. So result equals computer.go. If result is less than 256, print chr results, comma sep equals this. Otherwise, print results. So let's try that. Put instructions, walk. Okay, I don't quite. So with a new line, when you finish entering your program, provide the command walk followed by a new line to instruct the string header falls into space. An ASCII rendering will be produced. In these, alpha is the spring droid. For example, suppose you program the spring droid like this. Oh, with this, the 25 is right. Try while true, result equals computer.go. Accept and program. Pass. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so that's good. How do I Python print sep? I don't know why that's not working. I think I'm doing it right. No, I don't want sep. I want end. That's the problem. Let's try this again. Okay. So didn't make it across because it looks like this. Okay, good. So this looks like my program. So now we're making some progress. And I need to, so I think, so let's figure out this. so this is what it looks like. Okay, so, and that didn't get copied. Okay, and let me just wipe this out. Okay, so, and it looks like we said, that when I jump, I go up 2, down 2. Okay, so what that means is that I want to land here. So let me do an at, do an at, do an at, do an at, do an at. So I want to jump here, and then I also want to jump here, and then I should be okay. And so now we just need to figure out how to do this in their little programming language. So, you know, we have A, B, C, D here. Because previously my program was not A, so that means that I jumped right when there was nothing in front of me. So that's A, B, C, D, and now when I'm here, I have A, B, C, D, okay? And so let's figure out how to do this in 15 instructions. So, so in other words, if I have, so A and I can probably, my guess is I can't jump except when I'm on the ground. So, um, so it looks like if I do not A or not B, that should work, right? And so let's figure out how to do that using their little language. So not A or not B, or not A or not B is the same thing as not A and B, right? And so what I can do is I can say, so how do I set temp to something? So if not A, we set jump. If not B, we set temp. So let me reason through this program, and I think that will help us. Okay, so if A is a whole, set J to true. Or basically set J to A is a whole. Set T to B is a whole. And now this is saying set J to A is a whole and B is a whole. Set T to C is a whole. Got it. Okay. So now, so I think I kind of get that. And now let's go and say, I want, so if A is a whole or B is a whole. So again, I can do not AJ means set J to A is a whole, not BT, set J to B is a whole. And then or TJ. That means set J to A is a whole or B is a whole. Okay, so that seems like it might work. Let's go try that. Okay. Let's see if that works. And then walk, and then let's run this. Oh, interesting. So there's other parts of the pit that that don't work. So we're going to have to figure this out step by step. Let me move this thing over here. I'll just have all this scratch work. Oh, D21 dot scratch work. Okay, so let's do a period. And why did this go wrong? This went wrong because I have this 3 dot gap, and there I jumped too early. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that D is true as well, and that would cover both of these cases. So so now let's try not D jump. Set J to D is a whole, not JT. Set T to D is not a whole. Set J to A as a whole. And now what I want to do is I want to and no. Set J. Let me do it this way. Not DT. Set T to D as a whole, and then I'll do not TT. Set T to D is not a whole, and then let's do and TJ. Set J to A is a whole or B is a whole, and D. Okay, so let's try those and see what happens. So if I do that and stupid comments, gotta wipe them out. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. Probably there is. Okay, so now we have another set of these. I think that's different from the first one. But yeah, so this is going to get trickier because I'm going to run out of my 15 instructions. So here I want to basically I want to jump when I see the fourth one. So not A or not B or not C and D. So let's try doing a not C as well. Any of those, is that... Is that true? If I say I'm here, well, no, let's say I'm if I jump, I'm gonna land on D basically. So, and so what I need to do is I need to say here we also have not C and D. So you never want to jump if D is not there. But you do want to jump if there's a hole. So let's say not C T, set T to C is a hole, and TJ, no, or TJ, set J to A is a hole, or B is a hole, or C is a hole, not DT. Okay. So let's try this version. And again, I'm going to have to wipe out my comments. I should probably figure out a quicker way to do this. All right, so now let's run this guy. And it ran, so let's go throw this number in and see what happens. That is the right answer. Continue to part 2. There are many areas Windows can't reach. You flip through the manuals to avoid increase its sensor range. Instead of ending your swing board, do run. In this way, you assume sensor keep a sensor mode. Sensors in 5 new read-only registers. All other functions remain the same. Now, I have E, F, G, H, I. Okay, so now we got to do the same thing, but more involved. So let me do SS part 1, and then SS equals run. Okay, well, why don't I just give it the same program and see what happens. Yeah. Okay, so now we have something that looks like this. So when I jump, uh, jump. And so why did I not jump? So, all right. Anyway, let's see if we can figure this out. Okay. So basically, I need to jump here. A, B, C, D, E, F. And how many did I get? It goes all the way to I. G, H, I. And I still land on D. So that means that this means if I want to get here, D, E, F, G, H, I, A, B, C. So when I get here, I want to jump. And so what happened was I saw a D here, and so I want D is solid, and uh, and so let's get uh, I want, and then where did I jump before? Before I jumped when there was two left, so like B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. So I got here and I said D is good, so I'm going to take him. But the problem is that H is bad. So if D is solid and H is solid, and A or B or C or D is not solid. Okay, so that's going to be very similar to my last program. So let's just copy that. So not, what did I say, H? I mean, this is not going to work, but we'll try it. Not HT, set T to H as a whole, and not TT, set T to H is not a whole, and TJ, set J to okay, well anyway, let's try this, and it's not going to work, but we'll see why it doesn't work. And oh damn it. Okay, so let's run it, and it did not like my input, so let's figure out why that is. Because I wiped out the run part. Okay, and now I get something like this, where here I didn't jump at all because, so I definitely should have jumped here, D, E, F, G, H, I, right. And I definitely should have jumped B, C, D, E. So, so it's really, let's go back to this one that I messed up. D is solid, and um, so why do I want to jump? Like this program is, so I need to, in fact, let me just move all this over here because it's like a continuation. I still have all the same rules that I need to deal with, so might as well keep it all in one file. Okay, so I need to be able to deal with this situation. I need to be able to deal with that situation. I need to be able to deal with that situation. I need to be able to deal with that situation. I need to be able to deal with um, this last situation where okay, so if A, B, C, and D are holes, I all want to jump. So oh, how do I figure this out? Like there must be a more programmatic way to do this. But so let's I'm just going to copy all the patterns and then think about it from there. So that's one pattern. That's two patterns. That's three patterns. That's four patterns. That's five patterns. And so in this case, D, A, B, C, D. So here I want to jump when I see that, and I want to jump when I see that. Here I want to jump A, B, C, D. Here I want to jump A, B, C, D, and jump A, B, C, D. And here I need to jump A, B, C, D, and then I also need to jump A, B, C, D, but not the other ones. And finally here I need to jump A, B, C, D, and also this one I could go one of two ways, but it looks very similar to that one. So I'm just going to jump here, A, B, C, D. So So if the two in front of me, so not A and not B, I want to jump, that will help. So, one way to do that would be not A and not B is not, so not A temp, say not A J, not B temp, or temp J. So that will, stop doing that. So that will jump whenever there's two empty squares in front of me, which most of the time I would want to do. So if I just run that, let's see what happens. Oops, not A and not B. So sorry, let's try that again. And that will fall me into this hole. And so let's say if there's not C, I'll definitely jump. Not A. Or if there's not C and D, so let's say not C temp, so this is not A and not B, and then this is not C and D, not C temp and D temp and temp J. So let's try this one now, and we're still not using the still not using the extended ones. And I wiped out run. Okay, so I'm still dying on the same one. So how could I do that? Not C and D, and this should be or. So if either of those is true, and so now this gives me a different problem, which is this, and J, A, B, C, D. We could also do not A and not C. Not A and not C. So again, I can do not A temp, not let me then do or J. So how do I do multiple ors like this? I do multiple ors by not A and not C is not A or C. So I can do that by doing not a temp, not temp temp, or C temp. I'm gonna run out of instructions in a minute. Not temp temp or temp jump. Let's try this. And that is going to give me the same one I had before. So let's wipe that out and think about it a little bit more. Not A and not B. Or not C and D. So let's chain this, not A and not B or not C. So let's try that one. Not B jump, not C temp, or temp jump, not a temp, and temp jump. So let's see if that does anything. I wish I could leave comments in these programs. That would be easier. And so now that's much closer. So look, if there's not A, I have to jump. So obviously. So if there's So let's start with that. Just not A. Not a jump. And I know we already did that, but and so not a jump will screw me on this one, right? And not A or not C and D. Is there any case where I would not want to jump? Yeah, that would mess me up here. So not A jump, not A or not C and D. So not A jump, not C temp, and D temp. So this is not A. This is, let's do this, not A. And this is not C and D. And this is not A or not C and D. So problem is I'm still not using any of the extended ones, so let's just say or tj. So let's put this in, and I just feel like I'm doing the same things over and over again, and so of course they're not going to solve the problem. This is an interesting one. Jump A, B, C, D. So that's fine. And that means that jump A, B, C, D. I went there. So that means that I need to jump A, B, C, D. Something like that. So not C and D. But I have not C and D. So I said not C and D, so I jumped there. The problem is that I landed here, and then so it would be okay if I jumped. So if D and not E, then or not E and D. Let's try that. Not ET. Or let me. Oops, I need this. Not ET and DT or TJ. Okay, so this is a different issue. And so I definitely need to jump here, but that's taken care of. And then I need to jump here. And why is that not happening right? Because there. Okay, so I jump again. And so why did I jump here? A, B, C, D, and not E. Yeah, I'm giving up. I don't know how to figure this out systematically. But yeah, there's a lot of people figured it out, but not me, and I'm not gonna figure it out now, so I'm stopping. I could do this all night and not get anywhere.